Unlike all other wars in history, World War II was different. Here are 10 incredible facts about World War II that you may not have known before. Everyone knows about World War II, but you don't know everything. Here are some unknown and insane facts regarding the biggest and bloodiest war in human history, World War II. Number 1. In the blood. Even though World War II was the bloodiest conflict in human history, more soldiers from that conflict survived major injuries and returned home. What made this war special? It was the advance in medical technology and one technique in particular. Although blood transfusions were not new, this battle marked the first time they were routinely employed in combat, which ultimately saved many lives. Number 2. The Good Hitler. By all accounts, William Patrick Stewart Houston was an ordinary boy from Britain. He was born and raised in Liverpool and later moved to the US to join the US Navy. But he had a secret. His father's name was Alois Hitler Jr., Hitler's half-brother. In addition to fighting for the United States against his uncle's empire, he was awarded the Purple Heart after being wounded in combat, just another noble German American doing his part against the Axis powers. Number 3. It's a go. The hope was that the nuclear bomb would lead to the end of the war by delivering a massive punch to the Axis powers. The bomb required an enormous amount of funds and manpower, and the Allies wanted to be sure it would function before releasing it. In fact, the first successful test was conducted at a testing range in a desert in New Mexico in the US. It was a massive success, and it horrified one of the men responsible for it, as Oppenheimer quoted a line from a Hindu sacred text,
"I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
But there was a twist to the first 2 bombs dropped. Number 4. Even evil has standards. The scientists of the Nazi regime were actively developing deadly biological weapons, including enhanced versions of typhoid and cholera. The Nazi leader, however, disapproved most of them when they were submitted to him, and most of the projects never saw the light of day. What offended him about these plans? Hitler had no problems executing millions of civilians, but he had also experienced the horrific chemical and biological warfare of World War I. Maybe it hit a little too close to home. Number 5. Take to the skies. Following France's defeat, Nazi Germany shifted its focus to Britain. Instead of attempting a ground assault on the heavily fortified island nation, Hitler concentrated on bombarding the British into surrender. But because of the Dowding system, that was harder than expected. Created by RAF Commander-in-Chief Hugh Dowding, it set up a reporting system that let the British respond to air attacks faster. This would prevent numerous Nazi attacks and streamline the process of passing information between the ground and the air. Number 6. The Victor. The island nation suffered heavy losses, including 39 planes and 14 pilots in one horrific day. Britain's defense systems were far more accurate than Germany's attacks. Ultimately, they survived the attack and persisted, while Germany suffered far heavier losses in the Battle of Britain. The Axis forces suffered over 3,000 deaths and lost hundreds more planes, while the British lost over 1,500 aircraft, over 500 airmen, and over 1,000 other losses. Number 7. The first casualty. Which U.S. soldier lost their life in World War II first? It was surprisingly not engaged in battle. His name was Robert Temp Lassie, an Iowa native who worked as an aeronautical meteorologist. When the Germans invaded Norway in 1940, he was working as a military attaché more than a year and a half before Pearl Harbor was bombed. He was caught up in a bombing raid while working to evacuate American diplomats from the nation. As a result, he became the first American soldier to die on the European front. Number 8. Hitler loves America. Being the dictator of an empire comes with some advantages, especially when you determine what is essential for war spending. Hitler not only traveled in luxury, taking his own private train, but he also had hidden bunkers and camps built for himself. It was basically a mobile compound with an eating area, bedroom, and conference room. What was its first name? America. By the time the train was being targeted by American forces, so the name was eventually changed to Brandenburg in 1943. Number 9. Gotta have my Coke. U.S. manufacturing operations concentrated on necessities throughout the war. They ensured the soldiers had ammo, armor, supplies, and soda. Yes, the soldiers loved the Coca-Cola firm's iconic beverage, and the firm established production facilities in North Africa as a way of showing its support for the men in uniform. This enhanced the company's reputation and established the Coke brand as a household name for years to come, while allowing them to carry millions of bottles of soda across the Mediterranean to the soldiers. Number 10. Bugging England. Early in the war, the Nazis were thinking of novel methods to fight their opponent, and one of that tactic was smaller than usual with more legs. The Colorado potato beetle is a known pest of potato crops that the Nazis considered turning into a weapon. They would drop a mass number of the bugs on British farmland, devastating their food supplies and starving the island nation into surrender. However, the proposal ultimately failed because gathering the 40 million bugs required for the mission was not practical. That brings us to the end of the video. Thank you for being at the end of the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tell us what you think about this video below in the comment section. Let's meet again with another interesting video.